We keep things simple here. Under the table. Where are we? Under the table. We're not above the table. We're not in a boardroom. We're not sitting on the moon. We're under the table, and it's called under the table. Easy to understand. Great. Cody.
Yes.
Why do you not look like a chipmunk? I am very disappointed.
I didn't. It was just a checkup. It wasn't anything crazy.
No one goes for dental checkups.
It was a
That's
checkup
so
and,
weird.
and like a clean.
Like there was nothing wrong with your mouth, and you decided just to go for
I
a checkup.
decided I needed a clean because I haven't been to the dentist in like 15 years.
Weirdo.
So it's about time. Once every 15 years, that's normal, right?
So like Larry's dad was a dental technician. So you would think that we would be people who are like, okay, let's go for a checkup. Never. I cannot tell you. Okay, I can tell you. The last time I was at any form of dentist was to remove my braces. And then I was like, lesson learned, I will never come back here again. Goodbye.
Yeah, you were only there because they imprisoned your teeth and they had to free them.
Yep.
No, I just thought I needed a cleaning, and so I went to go get one.
That's ridiculous because your teeth are literally always whiter than mine on camera, and it drives me freaking crazy. You did not need to improve them further.
I will say it's because we're on camera so often.
Also, for
That's why I
everybody,
went.
for everybody listening or watching, Cody is not my good colleague or my good friend. He is in fact my freaking enemy. Because I don't know what it is, right? I don't know how you always find the worst, most ridiculous shots of me to use as the freaking
I'm not the
thumbnail.
one that finds the worst ones. I find the mediocre ones. It's your friends that are finding the bad ones.
Okay, but they are enemies. Like, point blank, they are enemies. My friend group does not exist. Like, normal friend groups are there to be like, oh, you look so good today. We love you. Go, Arielle. Not my friend group. My friend group is like, lol, you are such a spaz. What is even wrong with you? You look like an idiot.
Guys, look at this. I paused the video at the right time. There's Arielle's face. Maybe it's just you. I don't know. Like, you just have one of those faces.
I refuse to believe that. It could not be me. No, impossible. Impossible. I come from such a proper family.
That's why it is you. You're the rebel. You're the rebel in the family. You're not proper at all.
No, you know what? I am my dad's daughter through and through. So, like, just a funny you can cut out. But my parents are ultra endurance marathon runners. So you wouldn't know it genetically. But I come from a family that is able to carry their body weight on their back, go into a desert or the Arctic. It's either 55 degrees or minus 55 degrees, and then run up to 200 kilometers in a day.
Ridiculous.
Like, that just seems improbable, but those are the people that I'm related to. Anyway, my mom is very, very competitive. Like, my dad and I are both, like, I'm big mouth. So I'm like the big mouth, but at the end of the day, I could care less. Like, if I place, if I don't place, it really is just a non-factor for me. And my dad is exactly the same. So every time they do a race, there is a huge fight while they're running. Because my dad will injure himself, and my mom will be like, not on my watch, you suck it up and you run. I don't want to hear about it. So for the one, they're doing one now, in a couple of days' time. But my dad for the last few months has been in and out of doctor's appointments because he tore all the ligaments in his knee and there's crystallization, and his knee is just an issue. So he has already told my mom, like, look, my knee is going to be an issue, But I'm going to try and like go through it, but let's just have a good time. But he knows that isn't going to happen. So the other night, we're there for dinner. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I got this sorted. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, nah, I made the threat that your mom will actually listen to this time. So my mom is an exceptionally shy person. Like, she gets embarrassed by anything and everything, and her embarrassment
Gonna get
is
embarrassed
crippling.
by this.
So he's like, no, he's already decided. He is going to say that he's near sore. My mom is going to tell him to suck it up. And he is going to start ugly crying. He is going to cry on top of his voice with the ugliest cry face you ever did see. And as my mom tries to get away from him, he's going to be like, no, my wife. All the way through the camp and the race.
Oh.
My mom's face, she was horrified. And I was like, yeah, my genetics, I clearly come from my dad. I don't know what my mom offered in the genetic pool, but I am my dad's daughter. Because that is the ultimate troll. And I was like, I love you so much more now. Like, please do that.
So why can't your mom just run without him? Like, why can't you just leave him?
Because of how strenuous the ultra endurance marathons are, and because of the fact that there's no support along the way. So you carry your own food, your own water, your own medical supplies, whatever. They do employ a buddy system.
Okay.
Just so that, because a lot of the places, for example, when they did the race in the Arctic, there's like this weird canyon thing that you run through called Dead Man's Canyon.
Of course.
And it's called Dead Man's Canyon because if something happens to you, it is impossible. No one can get to you because it was too narrow for cars and the cliffs were too high for a helicopter. So yeah, they do enforce teamwork and stick to your teammate, and they're trying to enforce it on the one person who does not believe in teamwork.
I mean, she chose the wrong sport then. She should just do the solo mission ultra runs, right?
You mean like running? I'm pretty sure that's what my mom envisioned. She was just gonna run away from me and my dad, who have embarrassed her for years. And then the sport was like, haha, jokes, no.
No.
But now that we've slammed a woman, let's talk about Women's Day, Cody. My segues are so sick.
So good, yeah.
Oh.
Never need to edit any of these, they're just perfect. Women's Day, yeah. Well, I mean, it's International Women's Day on Friday, so
yep,
that's fun. What have we got
past
going
Friday
on?
when you guys are listening or watching?
The Friday that just passed. What has happened or what has been planned for that weekend? What's going on? Tell us.
You know, it's so not okay. Like, obviously, big things are going on. Like, I'm gonna be like, nothing is going on. Obviously, like, big things are going on. But you know what? I feel like what we should focus on is the small things.
Small things.
So, yes, the small things. You know what? Like, I see a lot. So, past Friday when you're watching this, future Friday when we're recording this, there is a tournament going on in South Africa that is all about, it's a female only, or those identifying as female only tournament. And there's this whole conversation constantly going on about how we don't have enough inclusivity in gaming and things like that. Not only to do necessarily with gender, but to do with everything, like your gender, your sexuality, your skin color, that we just don't have enough inclusivity and diversity across gaming. And yes, freaking true. Like, I feel like you can always improve. Like, it's just a fact. Movies can improve, TVs can improve, gaming can improve. Like,
sure,
we can't argue that.
Yeah, if it was perfect, nothing would change.
But also, exactly. But also, I don't think enough credit is given to how far we have actually come, especially in the last couple of years. Like, I distinctly remember being a child, and I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Like, let's say when I started gaming, I was like 6 years old. So that was what?
100 years ago. Count on your fingers.
Shush! This is ridiculous. I can't think, Cody.
It
I
was
can't
like
think.
24 years ago. 24 years ago.
Who knows? Who knows? It was lots of years ago, okay? But it wasn't that many years ago. But, like, you never really saw women in games other than accessories to, like, look hot and look sexy.
Okay.
So, like, Need for Speed is a great example.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't play the woman in the game, but the woman was used to promote the game with her tiny little hot pants and her little flag.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the Final Fantasy games of those days, you played... You know what? Give me 1 second.
1, 2, 3, 4. What are you looking up? Who are you even? How did you even get a computer?
No, I'm
under this
messaging my
table?
mom.
Oh.
I'm messaging my mother. She keeps on sending me WhatsApps and my watch is vibrating. So I sent her a thing filming. Stop. But like...
Anyway, Final Fantasy. Yes, Final Fantasy.
Like, the Final Fantasy games that were out there up until like a point where you could only play the male characters. And the female character was just there to be like the love interest and look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all changed. Like Final Fantasy X came out, it was fully female cast. Final Fantasy X2 came out, it was a fully female cast. And while I don't think that extreme is great to go from you can only play men to you can only play women, I don't feel like that's the case anymore. And I feel like 99.9% of games give you the option now to choose who you would like to play as, unless it is a story-based game and the character has to be fixed for the story, in which case I don't feel like anyone is moaning about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that has to be that way to tell the story. But I think we have come very far.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. Obviously, coming from me is kind of difficult because I'm a guy, I'm a white guy, like I've been included in everything since I've been playing games. So you know, it's hard for me to...
Nice, Cody.
it's hard for me to
so
say
nice.
that it's improved, but I mean, I can see that it has, it is awesome to see. And I mean, not only in terms of the games that we play and everything, but also the actual people that play games themselves. I mean,
yeah,
you wouldn't think like girls can play games, you know, back in the day. It was all the boys on the PlayStation 1 and girls had to go do tea parties or whatever. But these days it's different. I mean, we saw some results the other day where the split was 47-53, I think.
Yeah.
Females 47, male 53, which is almost like bang in the middle. So that's also... It's nice to see that there's a lot more women playing games, and I think it is because games have become more inclusive.
Also, I don't know if it's because games have become inclusive. I think that helps. But I think people have become more inclusive. So I distinctly remember playing games and being interested in games as a kid.
Yeah.
And my male friends never had an issue with it. I used to go to their house, we used to play PlayStation together, we used to have a good time. But like the girls had a major issue with it. Like, okay, I was already kind of the overly loud, overly nerdy kid, but for overly loud, overly nerdy kid who played games, that was where the line in the sand was drawn, and that was just not done. So I think, yes, games have gotten more inclusive, but I'm not sure it was the games that ever stopped girls from playing games.
Fair enough.
I think it was other girls. And that mentality and that mindset of, that's not cool, you can't sit with us, has shifted, in which case more girls are actually free to go, you know what, I do enjoy this, I do like this is great.
Yeah, that is cool. It's good to see the whole world, I guess, evolving like that.
Yeah, a little bit of positive.
Yeah, it is
In
positive.
a world full of ridiculous things happening all the time. That's what I say, like, I understand, like, you have to always want for more, but I think we can also acknowledge how far it has come, because it's massive.
Yeah, it's good. Some good news.
And I've got another great segue, Cody.
You
Talking
can't say
about
I've got a
massive
great
things.
segue.
But it is great, okay? Talking about massive things.
Yes.
What massive crooks are Microsoft trying to be currently, right now, with Frostpunk?
Yeah, so massive segue, massive crooks. For those of you who for somehow are watching this and haven't already heard that the Frostpunk 2 release date was announced, it was.
Cody is not your friend and he is upset by you.
Yeah. Where was I? You see, now you distracted me. I'm thinking of all my not friends. Anyway, so yes, it was announced, and
Frostpunk
you
2
can.
has been announced.
Yes, you can pre-order it right now. It will be free on Game Pass, but you can pre-order the deluxe edition, which comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff on both Steam and the Microsoft Store. And I just noticed,
But they come with the same stuff across Steam and the Microsoft Store.
Yes, 100%, they do, yeah. And I noticed while I was looking at the Microsoft Store, the game is 1,300-ish on Microsoft. It's only 600 Rand on Steam.
And there's a sale, by the way. The core price of pre-ordering it on Steam is like 600 Rand.
Yeah.
And it's on sale for like 500.
It's on
Ridiculous.
sale, yeah.
I hate that so much.
I don't even, how does that even, I don't understand how it even works like that. Like
You know what?
how-
I'm sure that the argument that Microsoft will use is because you get access to it across both PC and Xbox.
But it's
but
not
the
going to be
argument
available on
that
Xbox yet.
Isn't it?
Not yet.
Okay, no, then that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, even if they use that argument, the Steam game is available on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So
see?
you're also getting like the
Multiple platforms.
hybrid PC to console. No, ridiculous. Highway robbery. I absolutely hate that. That is a major pet peeve in my life, and I hate it. I feel like I should be able to check my bank account and be like, I have 500 Rand for a game. And then just go and buy that game on whatever platform for my 500 Rand. I feel so strongly against having to go down a Google rabbit hole to try and see if someone is doing you in when you are trying to purchase the exact same product with no benefits,
Yeah.
just depending what storefront you use. I hate
Crazy.
it.
It's ridiculous. And I mean, I was this close. So you can buy the deluxe edition upgrade only, which just gives you the DLC stuff. Because I mean, it comes with Game Pass. I'm still waiting to find out if we can do that because it comes free with Game Pass. I was so close to buying it until I saw the price on Steam. No, I'm not sure.
But like, I would anyway buy it on Steam because like my issue with Game Pass, I feel like Game Pass is great if you want to see if you want to buy a game.
Yeah, okay.
But because of the fact that stuff doesn't stay permanently and it rotates out, especially if a game like Frostpunk, I mean, if you're anything like Larry has been playing that game for years on and
Yeah.
off. It wasn't just like he played it one time and moved on. He's been returning to that game consistently depending on his mood. So buy it. And buy it on Steam, guys, because that is ridiculous. Buy 2 games on Steam for the
Yes.
price of one time buying it on Microsoft.
You can.
So upsetting.
It's fantastic.
So incredibly upsetting. But good news again.
Good news. More
This
good
is
news.
great. Bad news, good news, bad news, good news.
We'd like
So
a wave of
in
emotions.
last week's taking people on a journey. A journey. So last week on our show, we discussed the disgusting, frankly, news that all the game companies were just dismissing employees like I squish mosquitoes. Like,
Yes.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, today, breaking news. An unsuspecting good guy emerged. Capcom.
They must have watched our
Because
show because we
instead-
spoke about good guy
Apparently.
Nintendo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and then Capcom was like, hold my beer, I got you. So, Nintendo, we gave props because their CEO was willing to take a pay cut instead of firing employees. Capcom was like, do you want better? Instead of firing any of their employees, they have offered all their employees raises, and they have raised the minimum amount that they offer new employees starting at the company.
Yay. Clap, 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 clap.
No, it's ridiculous. So I don't think we should be going, yay, clap, 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 clap. I think this story just shows how really sad the gaming industry has become. Because why are we excited about a 5% increase?
Which should
That
be
is
standard.
basically just your cost
Yeah.
of living increase, right?
That's true.
But no, Capcom has gone live saying they're going to increase their employees by 5%, and we're all like, good guy, Capcom. Look at you, the real MVP. So bad.
Wow, you
I mean,
you
good
just
on
flipped
Capcom.
this good
I'm not
news into
discrediting.
bad news, like just like that. Like didn't even this.
No, I'm
Guys,
just
we're gonna
saying,
give you some
it
good
is
news. No, no, no. This is actually regular news. It's not good news. It's not bad news. This should be the standard.
No, you know
news.
what? Like, it should. That is exactly it. Like, yes, props for Capcom for not just dismissing their staff and joining the popular kids. But also, we shouldn't be celebrating a 5% increase. That is cost of living, guys. That should, in all intents and purposes, just be expected.
True.
But yet, the gaming industry has gotten so bad that we're like, oh, look at you, Capcom. We feel you. Ridiculous.
Look, it is ridiculous, but it is. Either way you slice it, like it's good to hear that at least somewhere out there, there's a games company that's not being forced to fire their employees because of some
Yeah.
sort of greed or some sort of, you know, this does not align with our company's future excuse. So it's nice to hear. It's nice news. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, give us some bad news now, Cody.
Bad news. Okay, bad news. Ooh, I've got bad news. Okay, so the new or live action version of Avatar released 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. And the good news is that they got renewed for the next 2 seasons, which is how long the actual series is. There's 3 seasons for it. But, you know, so obviously I'm a fan of this series. I watched the animated series when I was smaller. And I love the show, so I had to watch the new one because the movie that we got like 10 years ago was just disgusting. So I had to see if they've done any better. And it was good, but it's like it doesn't have the essence of the show. They've like somehow managed to have the same amount of airtime as the original series, but without the same amount of like emotion and character building and everything that you get from a usual series. It feels kind of weird. It's not a bad show, it's just not a great show. You know what I mean?
It's one of those shows that makes you want to go back and watch the original.
Which I have started doing actually, and I'm having such a good time. But now the more I'm watching the animated show, the more I'm disliking the live action show. So if you like the live action show, don't watch the original again. Just like, don't do that to yourself. But yeah. So, good and bad
But,
news
like,
in one thing.
I have a funny to do with that.
Mhm.
Last night, Larry and I are lying in bed and I'm going through Instagram. And there's this one beauty Instagrammer that I follow because she does a lot of, what would you call it? not really a makeover, but she does a lot of these videos where she makes herself look like different celebrities.
Okay.
Like she makes herself look like Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie or whatever the case may be. She like transforms her face. Anyway, she had a video. Her fiance kept on going on and on about how he loves Avatar and the water tribe is his favorite.
Okay.
She was like, she is going to make a fun video where she dresses up and does her makeup, everything like his favorite character, and then surprises him. So she goes on the internet and draws up a picture of Avatar, which is the movie. And she proceeds to make a whole video in detail of her turning herself into a blue person.
Yes.
With the stripes, she orders the really expensive bodysuit, the
God,
works.
I saw this coming.
Just so that she can be like, close your eyes. He closes his eyes. She walks into the room. She does a pose. He opens his eyes, starts laughing. She is like, why are you laughing? But like, obviously this bodysuit is like super skin tight and revealing. So she's like super self-conscious. She's like, why are you laughing? It's like, wrong Avatar, babe.
Oh, God.
And she's like, no, it's impossible. And he's like, oh, very possible.
Oh, man. You know, one of the actors actually in the new live action series had the exact same thing. When he applied for the job, he thought he was going for the blue version of Avatar. Turns out.
I don't understand.
Completely different show.
When it's quiet under this table, so whenever I keep quiet for a second, do you hear silence? Or do you hear sort of like a static buzzing noise?
Okay, keep quiet. Sounds like a water fountain.
Okay, so I had an argument with Larry last night because Larry says he has tinnitus.
Okay.
So do you know what tinnitus is?
Yeah, it's when you have like that high-pitched ring in your ear, right?
Yes. Okay. I was like, you don't have tinnitus. Everybody just hears like a little bit of like an ambient noise if there's silence. Like it's just a thing. I then reached out to every person I know, and every person was like, yeah, they for sure hear it. Then Larry was like, you all have tinnitus. Googled it. So, according to Google, and not just WebMD, like all of Google,
and Wikipedia as well,
you are supposed to hear nothing. And the moment that there's silence and you do hear something, it is tinnitus. And tinnitus just has a scale. Like sometimes you don't have really severe tinnitus, sometimes it is very severe. But yeah, apparently we all just listen to those damn iPod shuffles too loud against when our dad was like, you don't put that volume higher than 50. And we were like, what you gonna do? You're not the police.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I need to test that now. But I mean, because I have headphones on right now, so maybe I'll have to find like a quiet room. I thought you were going to say everyone actually has tinnitus, but no.
Well, according to Larry, everybody has tinnitus. According to me, it's just like the ambient noise that we all hear. Like the shared thing.
But I mean,
and according to Google, Larry is right and everyone has tinnitus.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to find a quiet
I think
room.
that is the question for this podcast. Guys, if life is quiet,
what do you hear?
Do you get to just bask in quietness? Or do you hear like this ambient, it can be ringing, buzzing, a static noise.
Yeah, anything.
And I was like, that's just like, we all hear that, Larry. And Larry's like, no, we don't. And I was like, but we do. And he was like, yes, because you have tinnitus.
Wow. So yeah, question. If you do have tinnitus, which you probably do, let us know what your tinnitus sounds like. Bye.
And also let us know How often is the appropriate amount of times to go to a dentist just for a checkup? Not because you have toothache, not because something happened, just because you feel like the dentist should check out your teeth. How often? Is this a yearly thing? Is this once every 15 years? Like, what is the average?
Yeah, we'll figure out the average.
Is it only when you had your braces put on and your braces taken off, like me?
Yeah, let us know. We know what the doctors recommend, but what do the people recommend? We listen to the people. It's a democratic show.
Okay, the doctor also recommends an apple a day. How many apples are you eating every day, Cody?
The doctor doesn't
If
recommend
you say you
that.
eat an apple... Cody, how often do you eat fruit?
Very rarely.
Be honest.
Very rarely.
So, another Google fact I can tell you. Apparently, you are supposed to be eating a fruit every single day. I was like, well, that seems excessive. No one is eating fruit every single day.
Larry does.
And then, no, Larry does not. There is no fruit in this house. Like, okay, I thought that if we give our pets fruit every now and then, so like our pets really like banana, and then we'll buy bananas, and then if you're snackish, you'll like take a bite of a banana. But I'm not going to the store to buy fruit for me.
Okay.
Maybe like before we've been in a store and we saw a dragon fruit and we were like, oh, that's cool looking, let's try it. And we ate a dragon fruit. But it's not like a everyday thing that like on my local trip to Willie's, I'm like, oh, gotta grab that fruit for the week. But then I said that aloud to people and people looked at me as if I was insane. And apparently it is just a thing that every single day people are eating fruit. And I was like, that just does not seem right to me.
Ash buys fruit all the time. We have fruit in the house all the time. Like when there's no fruit in the house, she goes and gets fruit.
But you're so healthy. I don't feel like you're the norm, Cody.
I don't eat that much fruit, but Ash does.
So Ash is one of those people who would look at me funny when I'm like, no one eats fruit. And she's like, every day. Every day.
Every day she takes an apple.
Okay, so under the table dwellers.
Yes.
This is for questions to you. Do you hear buzzing because you listened to that Walkman too loud one too many times?
Mm-hmm.
How often are you going to the dentist to just get yourself checked out? And are you reaching for an apple every single day?
Good questions. I like the range.
Let us know.
Let us know by. There we go. You're supposed to say the words, we're a podcast.
Oh. No, because that's where they can listen to us. They can let us know on our WhatsApp line. Okay, from the top. Guys, let us know by dropping us a message on our WhatsApp line.
See, now you put me under pressure every week and I always forget the damn number.
Okay, guys, while he's busy doing that, if you found this podcast anywhat amusing, but you're like, oh, can't with those people's faces, but our voices don't offend you the same way, then you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, where you can listen to our glorious voices just phase out that hum that you hear in the silence. And you can listen to us there without seeing our faces. If you're like, wow, these people's voices are even worse than their faces, then you can head over to www.nag.co.za, where you can just read our words. Mm-hmm. You can picture way more attractive people with way less offensive voices. Just the world is your oyster.
Or you can listen to your
and
tinnitus.
If you want to answer, yes. And if you want to answer our questions, and we really hope you do, you can answer them at
our WhatsApp line.
Oh, I give up.
Oh no, what's it supposed to be now? Email.
Yes, for WhatsApp line.
Oh, the WhatsApp line. You can drop us a voice note. You can drop us a voice note on 062-834-1919. Did you do email already? You can.
Guys, let me just tell you. Earlier this week, our editor had a very firm conversation with us about the fact that we could really do more to make our podcast tighter and more clean. I was ride and die with the fact that is impossible. This is as good as it's ever gonna get. Like, you can only polish a diamond so much.
Oh.
Like, it's so smooth. It is a well-oiled machine. It needs no tuning. And then we reach this point, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should have conceded to Riahat's point. But go ahead. What is our email?
Our email which is tight, is hey@nag.co.za. hey@nag.co.za. There you go.
And now we say goodbye.
Now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye. You can see these people aren't gamers